I leaned forward, resting my elbows on my knees. So, what's the decision? The second man, Marcus, let out a chuckle, a smirk tugging at the corner of his mouth. That depends. Think you can handle both of us? I grinned, settling back into the seat, stretching deliberately, fully owning the moment. I had their undivided attention. I glanced at the man still standing outside, Jake, letting the silence hang for just a beat longer. Then, tilting my chin upward, my voice steady and confident, I said, "Hop in and find out." Before we begin, take a moment to like this video and subscribe. It's quick, easy, and really helps the channel grow. Plus, you won't miss the next story. Thanks for being here. Let's dive in. The truck was still rolling when I grabbed the door handle and pulled myself up into the cab. I didn't wait for Jake to stop. The engine rumbled beneath me as I slammed the door shut, sealing us inside, just the two of us now. No way out. Jake shot me a quick glance, brow furrowed, like he wasn't sure what he'd just let in. But he didn't say a word. Just grunted, shifted gears, and pulled back onto the highway. Perfect. I stretched my legs out, letting my thigh brush against his. He didn't move away. Neither did I. Hope you don't mind company, I murmured, shrugging off my jacket and letting it slide down my arms. Slow, deliberate. He saw, of course he saw. Thin tank top, nothing underneath. His knuckles flexed on the wheel, just for a second. Just long enough. I smirked. Gotcha. Where you headed? He asked, voice rough. I leaned back, tilting my head, watching him struggle to keep his eyes forward. Wherever you're going. His jaw clenched. The truck rumbled over the uneven road, and I let it move me, let it shift me closer until my shoulder brushed his forearm. You grip that will like it owes you money, I teased, my voice softer now, more playful. His throat bobbed. Just trying to drive. I let my fingers trace the curve of my collarbone, drifting lower, watching him out of the corner of my eye. That right? 'Cause it kind of looks like you're trying real hard not to focus on something else. The truck rocked with the wind, the road stretching dark ahead of us. He inhaled slowly, exhaled even slower, said nothing. But I saw the way his grip on the wheel tightened, the way his jaw clenched. He could pretend all he wanted. I already had him. And the night had just begun. The truck cut through the empty highway, engine humming steady. But inside the cab, nothing was steady. I could feel it, his tension, the way he gripped that will like his life depended on it. Like if he let go even for a second, he'd lose more than just control of the truck. He was holding on. I was about to make sure he let go. I shifted, slow and deliberate, letting my thigh press against his again. This time, I didn't ease away. I stayed there. His fingers flexed around the wheel. A muscle jumped in his jaw. I let my fingertips trail over his forearm, barely a whisper of a touch. You're so tense, I murmured, voice light, teasing. I think you need to relax. His throat bobbed. I'm driving. I smiled. You're gripping that wheel so tight, it looks like you're afraid to let go. I tilted my head, watching him out of the corner of my eye. Maybe I can help with that. His breath left him in a sharp exhale. I leaned in, just a little, just enough to feel his warmth, to hear the hitch in his breathing. Then I moved. I slid down, shifting into the tight space between the seat and the console, my fingers dragging lightly over his thigh as I settled in. The hum of the truck vibrated through me, through him. He stiffened, one hand snapping off the wheel like he wasn't sure whether to stop me or brace himself. Eyes on the road, I whispered. His fingers twitched. He inhaled sharp through his nose, chest rising, falling. Then I leaned in, my breath warm against his skin. His entire body jerked, a sharp inhale, his back hitting the seat like he'd just lost all the air in his lungs. The truck rocked slightly, just enough to make him press his foot heavier on the gas before correcting himself. He sucked in a sharp breath, his grip on the wheel turning his knuckles white. I smirked, feeling the tension coil tighter between us. I started slow, letting the tension build, feeling the way his body reacted. His hand flexed, fingers twitching like he wanted to reach for me, but he didn't. Instead, he exhaled in a rough, uneven breath, his jaw clenched so tight I thought he might break his teeth. His breath came out ragged, like he was struggling to keep control. I smiled, feeling his body tense beneath my fingers. Outside, the world blurred by in streaks of headlights and darkness. Inside, it was just him and me. Nothing else. His fingers gripped the wheel tighter, like he was fighting himself. I wanted him to lose. I pressed my nails gently against his thigh, dragging them lightly along the fabric. His breath shuddered. "Breathe," I murmured. He let out a low, rough sound, almost a growl. His free hand gripped his leg, tension locking his muscles. He was right there. Then the CB radio crackled. "Yo, you on your way?" His body jerked so hard the truck rocked beneath us. I bit my lip, hiding my grin. Bad timing. His fingers flexed, one hand snapping to the radio while the other stayed locked on the wheel. His voice came out rough, tighter than before. "Yeah. Be there soon." The parking lot was nearly empty, a single truck idled near the edge, its headlights cutting through the darkness. Beside it a man, Marcus, leaned against the cab, arms crossed, waiting. As we pulled in, I let my eyes roam over him. Tall, solid build, a presence that made it clear he wasn't just another passerby. He looked right at me, then smirked. I smirked back. The engine rumbled to a stop, and Jake beside me exhaled hard, rubbing a hand over his face. He was still gripping the wheel like it might hold him together. I stretched slow and easy, dragging my fingers over my collarbone. His breath hitched, just barely. "Didn't realize we were meeting company," I murmured. Marcus stepped closer, eyes flicking between us. "You made good time," he said, voice casual, but the way he looked at me wasn't casual at all. Jake beside me tensed. "Step out for a second," Marcus said, not a question, a statement. Jake hesitated just for a beat. Then he exhaled, jaw tight, and opened the door. I watched as they moved a few steps away, talking low, their body language tense. They weren't looking at me, but I knew, I knew, I was the subject of the conversation. I leaned back against the seat, stretching my legs out, watching, waiting. A slow smile curled at my lips. Let them talk. I already knew how this night was going to end. The night air seeped through the cracked window, cool against my skin. I stayed where I was, lounging in the passenger seat, legs stretched out, fingers idly tracing along my thigh. Outside, Jake and Marcus stood near the parked truck, talking low, their body language tense. I knew what they were discussing, knew exactly what they were deciding. And I already knew their answer. A few minutes passed before they started walking back, slower than before. Something about them had shifted. A silent agreement had been made. Jake climbed back in beside me, hands gripping the wheel even though we weren't going anywhere. His pulse was still a little too fast, his body still wound tight. Marcus leaned against the open door, one hand braced on the frame. His eyes moved over me, slow, deliberate. "So," he said, a smirk tugging at his lips, "that was an interesting conversation." I stretched lazily, my tank top riding up just enough to make his gaze flicker lower. "Was it?" His smirk deepened. "We had some thoughts about you." I tilted my head, fingers grazing my collarbone. "I bet you did." Jake exhaled, hands flexing on the wheel like he knew he should say something, but didn't. I looked between them, letting the moment drag, feeling the tension thicken. It was crackling now, heavy, unspoken. I leaned forward, elbows resting on my knees. "And what's the verdict?" Marcus chuckled, dark and low. "Depends. Think you can handle two of us?" The challenge in his voice sent a thrill through me. I smirked, leaning back again, making myself comfortable. The shift had already happened. They'd lost control. I had them both now. If you've made it this far into the video, take a second and ask yourself, why haven't you liked it yet? Just one click can make a huge difference. It helps this video reach more people, and honestly, we need that support. We need you. Thanks for watching and being part of this journey. I lifted my gaze, locking eyes with Marcus. Hop in and find out. The door shut with a solid thud, sealing the three of us inside. The cab suddenly felt even smaller, the space between us disappearing in an instant. Marcus didn't hesitate. He cupped my face, his lips crashing into mine, rough, hungry. His hands roamed lower, fingers teasing over my bare skin as my jacket slipped to the floor. I barely had time to catch my breath before Jake's hands were on me too, gripping my waist, pulling me back against him. His breath was warm against my neck, his touch slow, deliberate, like he was savoring the moment. The space was tight, bodies pressing together, the scent of leather and heat thick in the air. I moaned softly against Marcus's lips as Jake slid his hands higher, tracing the curves of my body, palms firm, possessive. My fingers trailed along their waists, metal clinking softly, the moment thick with anticipation. Marcus's hand slid over my shoulders, pushing my top lower, fingertips grazing my spine. A shiver ran through me. I leaned down, my lips brushing over his stomach, teasing just above his skin, breath warm but fleeting. His hand moved to my hair, fingers curling slightly, a quiet reaction to my touch. Behind me, Jake didn't just wait. His hands explored, slowly, deliberately, sending waves of anticipation through me. I gasped, my fingers tightening against Marcus, letting my lips hover over his skin, my touch playful, lingering. Jake mirrored my rhythm, his hands deepening the tension, heightening every sensation. The truck rocked gently beneath us, the world outside forgotten. A low groan rumbled from Marcus's chest as I moved slowly, letting my lips brush over him, knowing exactly what I was doing. His fingers tensed in my hair, his body reacting before he could stop himself. Jake wasn't patient either. His grip along my waist firmed, the weight of his touch sending a shiver through me. I moaned softly, my body leaning into the heat between us, every sensation threading tighter. Then the balance shifted. I turned my attention back to Jake, trailing my lips up his stomach before lingering near his collarbone, my breath teasing against his skin. Marcus's hands tightened at my hips, his fingers pressing lightly, his presence impossible to ignore. I felt the shift, his body aligning closer, surrounding me in warmth, each moment pulling me deeper into the tension between us. A sharp gasp escaped me, my fingers clenching against Jake's thighs as I tried to steady myself. But the heat between us made it impossible. The rhythm built steadily, one pulling me forward, the other anchoring me, the energy between us thick with anticipation. Every inch of my body responded, heat pooling inside me, the intensity rising. But I never wanted it to stop. The truck rocked harder now, the deep hum of the idling engine vibrating beneath us, the energy crackling through every breath. Their hands steadied me, their touches firm yet controlled, every moment drawing me further into the tension. Marcus tightened his grip, his presence unshakable, every touch adding to the growing need pressing in from all sides. My breath hitched, lost in the moment, the sounds of the truck swallowing every soft gasp. They were both close. I could feel it in the way the air thickened, the way the moment held, everything brimming on the edge of something inevitable. I wasn't far behind. Everything climbed higher, tighter, until the tension finally broke, leaving only the warmth between us. For a while, we stayed there, tangled together, breathless, the warmth between us stretching into silence. The truck was still, the moment suspended, our bodies still humming with electricity. Marcus exhaled deeply, adjusting his clothes before cracking the door open. The rush of cold night air was a stark contrast to the heat we'd created inside. Jake stayed seated, hands resting loosely on the wheel, but he didn't turn the key just yet. Neither of us moved, not for a moment. Eventually, he reached for the gearshift, exhaling slow. The engine growled to life, the truck rolling forward like nothing had happened. They say truckers have the best stories. But I bet this one tops them all. Tell me, if you were in that driver's seat, would you have pulled over or kept driving? Drop your answer in the comments. Thank you for being a part of this story with me. If it moved you, please give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to this channel. We noticed many of you who enjoy these stories aren't subscribed yet. By subscribing, you're not just following a channel, you're becoming part of a community that values deep, meaningful storytelling. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you won't miss our next story.